Let's talk about Bridgerton season 4. So as many of you did, I watched all the Bridgerton seasons, and I have some issues with the ending of Bridgerton season 4. The whole ending of Bridgerton season 4 felt really like a magical trick that the authors pulled last minute because they didn't know how to make a happy ending happen. So they just were like, well, they will just lie to the queen, she will find it funny, and the whole thing will work out. It feels kind of disrespectful to the viewers to have such an absurd ending after pretending that Sophie's secret was such a big deal. For the ending to happen that way and for it to be so easily resolved, it really feels like a slap in the face of the viewers. Like, why did you waste our time that much if it was so easy for her to just become a noble woman out of thin air? This season obviously wanted to talk about class differences, but what I find really upsetting is that if Sophie had been just a regular maid, then the ending would have not even been possible, because the whole ending was only possible because her dad was a rich lord. If she just had been working class, then none of this ending could have been possible. One of the reasons I also didn't like the ending is because Bridgerton is getting extremely repetitive and predictable. Of course, we know the premise of the show is that each season there will be two characters that will inevitably fall in love and end up getting married. That is the premise, so obviously the structure makes it so predictable. But after 4 seasons, I am getting very tired of it. Especially when you look at the messaging of the show. What the show is essentially telling you is no matter how oppressive a society is, no matter how imbalanced the relations are between men and women, no matter any of those power dynamics, if you find true love, then it's okay to have zero right as a woman, and you can just marry the man and be like, Jesus, take the wheel, I don't care, like I can just become a housewife and have 10 children and I'll be fine, having absolutely zero rights. I find it to be kind of a disturbing message that you can find throughout the show. I feel like everyone is telling Eloise, you'll see, when you find the love of your life, you will want to get married and you'll understand. As if a man was good enough of an excuse to lose all your rights or to never fight for your rights as a woman. I know that the thoughts I have are way too deep, because at the end of the day, this show is just a huge fantasy for rich white liberal feminists to feel good about themselves while fantasizing about the 18th century Britain, which was overall a very oppressive and terrible era. But it does feel good to imagine what it would have been like to be part of the 1% at the time, as much as it feels good to imagine to be part of the 1% right now in our current society, because obviously we all want to be rich and have like all the food, all the pretty clothes, all the huge castles. Everyone kind of fantasizes about having that at some point. This show is kind of like a way for rich white feminist liberal women for them to fantasize about that lifestyle at the time without feeling guilty about fantasizing about an oppressive society, because the cast is very diverse in terms of race, and now the story is trying to include different classes with the storyline of Sophie. But ultimately, the show is still romanticizing a very problematic era, and the overall messaging of the show feels a lot more conservative than it feels liberal to me.